And we may have people joining us, in which case I'll just let them in, like these people right here.
See it?
All right, awesome. We're jumping on. So this is perfect. Right in the middle of the screen is our guest speaker. How perfect is that? Reina, so glad you could be here with us tonight. I've got all my stuff printed. Did everybody get their pieces of paper printed? No printer. You could also have them available. We can also share the screen. You know what we're looking at, and you can print them later. Somebody has some feedback on. Okay, that's better. They can be they're available for printing from Facebook and from email. All right. Okay, so a couple housekeeping things before I go ahead and introduce and we get started. Hey, Susan. Hey, Roger.
Hello.
So I just wanted to quickly go through some Zoom best practices. With all the Zooming we've done, probably everybody knows these things, but for us, I think we'll just review really quickly. Keep yourself muted in big groups, which this is considered to be big, and it may get bigger. Unmute to speak and then just remute again. There's usually some background noises that can cause things to be distracting. No eating, but if you have something to beverage you can drink. Just try to keep the distractions down for others. And then if you know how to use the chat, cool. If you don't, on the bottom of your screen, if you're on a computer, I'm not even sure if there's a possibility on a phone, but on the bottom of your computer, there's a chat button. And I'm going to keep that open while Reina's talking so that I can answer any questions that you may have for clarification purposes. And then also there are different views that you can have on your computer. I'm hoping that everyone has chosen the gallery view where you can see everybody speaking at once. On a computer, it's in the upper right corner. It just says speaker view, and you can click that until you get, the Hollywood Squares configuration going. Okay, any questions before I go? All right, cool. We're jumping in. Okay, so we are so incredibly lucky to have with us tonight Reina Bach. She is an incredible woman that I met at the dog park a couple years ago. And we have become friends since then, and I've become more familiar with what she is capable of. And this woman has some amazing skills, and she's just a wonderful person. She's a life coach, and if you saw the Facebook post you've seen, or the email reminder today, you saw all the logos of all her businesses. She is the quintessential women's entrepreneur life coach. So welcome, Reina. So glad to have you.
Thank you, Carrie. Well, so great to be with this group. I've met some of you before, and I certainly know Kristen and Carrie. Let's see. So we've got Meg, Jen, Norma, Amarabi, Susan, and Roger. Did I miss anybody?
Mary Ray is coming on.
All right.
Monica might be coming on. It looks like she's trying to join.
Great. Okay, well, let's just jump right in. If you have any questions, just unmute yourself and fire away. So how's everybody doing in light of what's going on with global? Anybody having
You can go ahead and unmute to speak.
Any challenges these days?
I have had a challenge with the masks. I can't breathe in them. It's like taking something I took for granted called breathing and having it be a thing I have to think about going into the store.
Yeah, masks are tough. I get a little bit, it's a little traumatic for me to wear a mask as well. I haven't made that normal yet. So How about everybody else? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Okay, great.
I think
Can you
it's
guys-
minute
can you
by,
guys
I think
put
it's
your
minute by
cameras-
minute.
Put your cameras on, please, so we can see you. This like
Minute by minute.
with a bunch of
I
flies
think
on
it
the wall.
changes minute by minute as the day progresses and with normal work stuff and the daily flow. There's good moments and then the moments change, but overall it's been very positive and it hasn't been too bad. I don't do the mask thing either. Don't don't get mad out there, but that's something that I've had difficulty with as well. So I think as of this weekend, I'll probably have to make a little bit of a shift there, but overall it's going good.
Yeah, great. Well, this is in my own personal, I've struggled with this. I will tell you, it's been tough. I have little kids. I have a 7 and 9-year-old, and my husband now works at home. Also, he just transitioned a few months ago. So it's been a handful, right, to do homeschool and business and all that. But it also, if we look at it, and I'm sensing from this group, I'm sensing that a number of you, if not all of you, are looking at this as an opportunity to step back and make a positive shift in your lives. So it really is a time for reflection, and I think it's a silver platter for us to be able to make some of those shifts we've been thinking about for a long time. Some of us are being pushed into it, and others are having an opportunity to really step back and reflect. And when Carrie asked me about doing something around empowered change, I mean, the timing is just perfect. And I've been using essential oils for over 20 years, and I adore the doTERRA products. I just adore them. And but a little bit about my background: I do life coaching. I also do leadership, executive coaching, organizational consulting. I've got a couple of businesses, and my swim lane is helping people to make positive changes in their lives. So it's just fabulous. So anyhow, let's go ahead and jump in. So I did have a couple of tools for you guys, and see if I'll share my screen. So Carrie had mentioned a couple of the tools. So let me pull this up here. Here we go. All right, so here is, I can get this started here. Well, let's see here. We're gonna do, all right. So as I said, I think it's a time for us to think about things and to explore different possibilities. I have had paints in my house for a number of years, watercolors. So I sat down the other day and painted this watercolor as a background. And I mean, you never know when you step into creativity, what might show up. So there are a couple of tools that I wanted to highlight for you. One is, some of you might have been thinking about an area that you'd like to shift in your lives. And if nothing jumped out screaming at you to say, yes, this is an area I want to shift, here is a tool. And there is imagine a 0 here in the middle, and there 10 is out around the rim of the circle. So there'll be 5 would be in the middle, 10 would be out here. So what I'd like you to do is think about right now, and I'll read these areas. I saw that at least one person's on the phone, maybe a couple, but the pie, if you will, is career/financial. So these are buckets: spiritual, health, family and friends, significant other/romance, personal growth, fun and recreation, and physical environment. So home space, home office, whatever that might be for you. So let's see, I'm going to stop share here. So did anyone have a chance to complete that ahead of time? Anybody? No, okay. Well, I tell you what, no time like the present. Take a look at that, and I'll just show you what I did with mine. So here's what I did, is I drew a dot in each of these sectors. And so the thing that was closest to a 10 was personal growth. I'm taking some meditation classes right now. That was pretty good. But there are some other areas that I'm struggling with on the, I'd say the health. Yeah, I could be working out more, doing different things. So what I did was I took a dot, 10 being out here, 0 being in the middle, and I placed a dot in each of the pies. And then I connected the pieces of pie. And so what this reveals is, if you take a step back, and we're not looking for a perfect circle here. That's for most of us, that's unrealistic. And some, as Kristen said, we kind of go moment to moment, day to day with this. But for right now, overall, what would be an area of your life that you might want to shift right now? So that is one tool to think about. So the next tool is, so I'll give you a minute to process these. Let's see here. All right. Can you see the screen? Yes? No?
It's good. Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, terrific. So this one, there aren't any directions on it, but what this has to do with, sometimes it's not a particular area of our life, like that last pie chart, but sometimes it's actually shifting a specific relationship or a couple of relationships. And with this one, I filled mine out, so I'll show you. So this is the one I just filled out. And this one does really shift moment to moment. So in the middle is you. And there's a grid down here. So energy going towards you, meaning those are people in your life. And we're talking about the people you spend the most time with, have the most influence over you, with you, a lot of interaction. Could be coworkers, could be friends, could be significant others, could be kids. So if energy is coming towards you, that means that this person is giving you some energy. And down here, let's see here, a friend of mine just came over this afternoon. We did some social distancing, a good friend, and here's my sister. So I get a lot of energy from those people. But you know what? There are a couple people that actually drain energy and take energy. And I hope he's not within earshot. This is my husband. So I will say that right now, there have been some challenges. And so right now, looking at this, I'm looking at all these people in my life. And what I'm going to go towards is, I'm going to look at the people who are taking energy or feeling drained. And these could be people who are negative, could be people that just aren't happy with you or don't build you up as a human being. So taking a look at that energy from a graphic perspective might be helpful as well. So for me, what this tells me is, this is a friend of mine. There's some things I need to clean up. There were some things that we had recently over the last couple of weeks. I've got to clean up that relationship if I want to. This one definitely need to clean up. So I need some conversations around that. So this is an area of my life that I want to shift, is this relationship right here. So you might shift like I said, an area of your life, or you might shift a relationship.
So these items could actually be subject areas. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely, they could. Absolutely. So this is generally relationships, but they could be subject areas. So I could be stressing about finances right now, or just getting adjusted to homeschool, or whatever that might be.
Okay.
So those are just some tools that I'm providing, just to, keep in mind if you're looking at shifting an area of your life now or later. So now Carrie had asked each of you to give some thought to an area of your life that you'd like to shift. So it could be an area or a relationship. So now we would love to hear from anyone who is willing to share what's something that you'd like to make more, better, or different in your life right now.
I'd like to embrace being uncomfortable and not being a perfectionist and knowing everything. And, the old dog can learn some new tricks and be okay with it.
Mm-hmm. So embracing being uncomfortable. Old dog can learn new tricks. Good. Thanks, Kristen. Who else?
Hey, Reina, this is Angie. How are you?
Hi, Angie.
Reina, I've known Reina for years and years and years, working in government programs with her.
Oh,
Wow.
Angie.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my goodness. Honey, how are you?
Awesome. So the thing I'm working on is my physical environment. I moved after 30 years to be closer to my grandchildren. And so I'm a year later and I've got tons of boxes still in the garage. So with all this stay-at-home stuff, that's what I've been working on, is my physical environment.
Oh, great. How's that going? I mean, you've done some boxes.
I think it's going well, because I'm at the point where I'm going through everything. There's not going to be a box that I've just shoved somewhere and say, I'll get to that later. As I'm walking closer to retirement, I'm just trying to shed a lot of things.
Great. That must feel really, really great, Angie.
It does, and it makes my kids happy too.
Wow. Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
So that's an area that but it sounds like, so is that an area that you're looking to still shift? I mean, is it right where you want it to be, or you still, there's work to be done still?
There's still work to be done. Yeah, and for me personally, and then of course, actual physical work that needs to be done. I'm very much a possession person. Lots of possessions. So some things I cannot donate today, but a week from now, I'm ready to let it go. So it's kind of been a process like that.
Wow, that is a deeper, something deeper other than just unpacking boxes. It is really shifting your whole relationship with the outside world when it comes to things and stuff.
Right.
Wow.
Right, exactly.
That's great. Thanks for sharing, Angie. Who else?
You're welcome.
I have one. The only real difference during this pandemic and lockdown and everything is working more with my husband's business than I ever have before. And so on my thing, I'm noticing it's showing up where I wasn't realizing it, as it's more of an energy drain, partly because the learning curve is higher, I think, and partly because it's just like, wait, I've had my own life and my own businesses going, and I still have those, but now I have this other thing, and there's a lot of concentrated time together, and I guess more than anything, it feels like it feels like it was thrown at me, and I realize I have a choice in how I take that, but I haven't changed that yet.
Okay. Well, there's an empowering perspective there, is that just realizing that you have a choice, Carrie, is very powerful, and recognizing the amount that it's been draining you and taking you away from what you really want to be doing. Yeah, powerful. Okay, great. Somebody else?
We have 13 minutes, by the way.
Okay.
Or 17 minutes, sorry.
All right. So ideally, again, whether or not you shared, thank you for sharing by that way, Kristen, Angie, and Carrie. Thank you. What I'd like you to be doing is to think about that area of your life, relationship, whatever that is that you want to shift. And I know for me right now, I'll say, like I shared, it's the relationship with my husband and communication and so forth, making that a smoother relationship. So now what I'd like you to do is think about how you want that to be. So it's creating a vision in your mind of, in an ideal world, what would that situation, what would that relationship look like? So in an ideal world, and it could be going back to some of these areas. I'll go back to share screen again. So again, thinking about career, financial, that's on a lot of people's minds these days. Spiritual, reconnecting, health, whatever that might be. And think about what that is for you. So now is the time we're going to bring in those gorgeous essential oils. So does everyone have some essential oils with them right now? All right, Carrie, what do you have? You've got a bunch.
I picked out a bunch, not knowing what I wanted to use, but I think I'm really being drawn toward console. I had console, balance, peace, serenity, and in tune. But I think console is the one.
Great. You have a picture in your mind about what that situation that you shared is going to look like?
We don't yet.
Okay. It's okay. It may, and this is a process sometimes to be able to be thinking about what that situation is going to be like. I'm going to grab one. Who else has some essential oils? Yeah, Kristen.
I've got Magnolia, Brave, and Adaptive.
Oh, nice. Shift. Tea tree.
Tea tree.
Ooh. And on guard.
On guard.
Oh.
Nobody's getting to her.
He's on defense.
You got powerhouse there, Susan. Yeah. What else does everybody have? Let's see. I usually have my go-tos. By the way, I don't know if anybody has one of these cases. Maybe you guys all do, but I've got this filled with essential oils, doTERRA oils, and I'm going to pick out. I'm going to go with wild orange and a little bit of clove for me. Oh, that one's really strong. Oh, grounding there. So what I'd like you to do now, so this is where we're going to actually go quiet and go inward right now. And think about the situation that you're looking to shift, transform. And the thing about using essential oils is, in my own experience, is it really shortcuts the emotional system. And because the key in my experience of doing this work for 30 years is being able to tap in emotionally, energetically to that new life that you want to create. So again, more, better, different. Better health, more money, better relationship, more clarity, physical environment, embracing uncertainty, embracing being uncomfortable. So I invite you to close your eyes right now and let go of what is so right now. Take some deep, slow inhales of your essential oils. And allow yourself to visualize a threshold. You're standing at a threshold right now. And as you have your essential oil, this side of the threshold is the current situation. On the other side is the new situation. You may not exactly have that exact picture, but just know energetically, whatever that area is more, better, different. And the more clarity that you have on the other side of that threshold, the better your emotional body, your nervous system, all of that can move in, your energetic system can move into that new reality. On the other side of the threshold, how would you feel? How would you feel in that more, better, different world state? Let's hear from a couple of people about what that feels like to be having stepped over the threshold.
I'd feel more confident. I'd just be happier, lighter. I'd feel more more secure.
Or what, Kristen?
More secure.
Nice. Who else?
So I was using the cinnamon essential oil, and I would feel more light, more warm, and just more of a homey type feeling.
Oh, that feels lovely.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing, Amarabi. How about one more person? What does that feel like when you step over and you're in that world?
I feel more hopeful about it, and like I do actually have control over it, because there are things that I haven't done that I can be doing. I guess the responsibility of it, which kind of, it opens it up. I see more possibilities.
Oh, great. Well, so this is the key thing that in my experience of using these oils for a long time is being able to take that same essential oil, so whether it's cinnamon or On Guard or whatever it is that you're using, to take you back immediately into that new space over the threshold.
So it's getting in the space of the new threshold and then smelling it, so that they lock the two of them together.
Yes, absolutely. You're
Okay.
linking those two. You're linking the body, the mind, the spirit together. Exactly. I feel lightness. I feel less tension.
So you're matching an idea or an intention with this vibration.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the beauty of it is you could be walking around and have your essential oil with you. I mean, even just holding the bottle. Sometimes I do that. But certainly smelling it, taking a moment. In some circles, like we call it a pause practice, but just taking a moment throughout the day to connect into that vision. I mean, you can do this in a broader sense when we do vision boards and really, really transform a life. So it is really helpful. Other questions, thoughts?
What results have you had using this practice?
What results have I had?
Yeah.
Wow. So this is pretty phenomenal. I use this every day in my broader vision of what I'm creating and what I'm up to in my life. More specifically, so I'm in the process of redoing actually a number of things in my life. So I use this all the time. I have like 5 go-tos that I go to. Intune is a big one for me. But a number of years ago, probably, I don't know if it was 20 years ago, I was looking to reshape my life. And it's kind of like The Secret. Maybe a number of you have read The Secret or familiar with the concept. But I actually wrote, so that would be another thing that you can do, is to write down paragraphs about your life that you want to shift. And you write it as if it's already true, reading it out loud every day, at least once, and using the essential oils to lock in that new vibration. So I was making $35,000 a year. I told myself in different areas. So one was I was going to make over $100,000, that I would buy a house. I was living in a rental, pay off my car, have dinner parties with friends, be healthy and be able to travel. Now I was totally reshaping my whole world, and everything happened within 14 months. Now that's even a long time for all of that to happen, but it was an awful lot. But it all came true. And I am convinced that an essential part of that was the essential oils that I was using. I stuck with lavender most of the time back then. But yeah, so that's an example of some rather major shifts, at least for me in my life.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other thoughts? All right. Well, I'll just share my contact information. If I can help any of you in any way, let me know. For whatever you're trying to create, there's definitely an oil. So I invite you.
Is it best for people to call you, or do you prefer?
People can call. I'll probably respond a little bit more efficiently with email. Because my days are a little bit hit or miss sometimes with the schedule with the kiddos. Yeah.
Well, that sounds great. Thank you. Thank you a lot. That was really
and
fun.
Everyone, stay healthy and sane. And again, I really think this is an opportunity for you to just grasp and reflect and recreate.
Using your oils.
Yes.
There's an oil for that.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
All right, guys, thanks so much. For the raffle, what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to respond to people who comment. I'll publish this on the Facebook page. Any commenter gets thrown in the pile, and then I'll just ship out the goodies. Okay. Does anybody else have any announcements or anything? Susan, anything to share? Anything going on?
I'll just share. I put it in the notes. Meg put in how to spray for the masks with 2 drops of On Guard, 2 drops of Breathe, and water, and you can just spray your mask. That might make it a lot better to wear a mask and help you breathe if you add in, those oils and spray the inside of your mask and the outside.
That's a great idea. So you're making a spray to do.
Yeah,
this.
Megan Aaron posted that in the comments, and
Great.
I'm gonna make those tonight. And then one of the things I find it just is very beneficial is when I come out of a store, I'm gonna take my gloves off, spray my hands with the On Guard hand sanitizing mist, then remove your mask. Take On Guard oil and just rub it all over your tongue, and it will kill any bacteria that got in your mouth. And then someone else commented about tea tree, but take the tea tree or melaleuca oil put it under your nose, and then just kind of go around your eyes with it. And then that kills any point of entrance. And it just, those two oils are always gonna uplift your mood. You just feel safer and more at peace. That's what I do.
Great ideas. Fantastic. I also noticed that when I put the straight oil on my mask, I was using a disposable mask, and it started to dissolve the mask. So, the spray is probably a better idea.
Yeah, and sometimes it will burn your eyes. It'll kind of come up like a straight. So be careful.
All right, cool. Well, we're less than a minute to go, so I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. And thanks, everyone. Take care.